It's time for New Palestine Dragons basketball on newpalradio.com. Today's game is brought to you by All-Star Turf Management, D&D Strictly Storage, Best in Sight Family Eye Care, Pork Vet Solutions, Hoosier Huddle, Real Life Church, and Catch the Shot Photography. Now let's head courtside for all of tonight's play-by-play.
New Palestine Dragons basketball is on the air. From courtside at the Dragons Den at New Palestine High School, it's time for tonight's Wednesday night contest between the New Palestine Dragons, who come in with a record of 9-5, and the Herron Acheans, who have a mark of 10-4. This is the sandwich game in a busy week for the Dragons, as they are playing the middle of 3 games in 4 nights. They dropped a 63-37 decision to Warren Central last night, and will play again on Friday against the Yorktown Tigers in a conference matchup. For Herron, same thing. They also played last night against the Indiana Deaf School and came away with a victory. And so they have a lot of momentum coming into this game. Along with Mike Petrie, I'm Andrew Smith. And Mike, the Dragons last night faced a really, really strong opponent in Warren Central. And this is kind of the tough part of their schedule. And now you kind of throw in a little bit of extra because you've got that Wednesday night back-to-back in the middle of the week. Even though you won't necessarily play Tuesday, Wednesday in the sectional, the idea of having to play 3 games in 4 nights is something you might have to do over at the Tiernan Center in a month. So probably a good opportunity here to play 3 pretty good teams this week, kind of looking ahead toward that potential sectional.
Yeah, absolutely. When you face a team like what they saw with Warren last night, you know, you would want something to get that taste out of your mouth as quickly as possible. And so I think that this game is going to be beneficial for the Dragons in a number of ways. You talk about preparing for sectionals. I think one thing that this gives you specifically is you're preparing really with no game plan, you know, no time for a game plan to be implemented. And that's something that you will have to do in sectionals. You don't know who your opponent's going to be on Friday night necessarily when you tip off on Wednesday. If you win, you might get a day, you might not. And then on Friday, you're not going to have a full day to even get a game plan in place then. So I think that this is going to be beneficial for the Dragons in that respect. And the Herron Acheans are going to present an interesting challenge. It was a night last night where Warren Central pressed the Dragons as much as I've seen anybody do that, and really got the Dragons out of their element a little bit. New Pal, they don't play a particularly slow style, but they don't necessarily need to run and have 70 to 75 possessions a game, which is what they were on pace for last night. And I think that had a negative impact.
And go ahead.
The Acheans do the same thing. They have found a new level of speed to their game. They're averaging about 90 points a game since the new year. So,
and they're already one of the highest scoring teams in the state coming in. They're a team that's going to want to really push the pace in transition, and that also means really pressuring the ball, which really, I think that means a couple of things for New Palestine. Obviously, you got to get back on defense, right? But the other thing is the Dragons do really well is spread the floor. Mm-hmm. And if you can make a move, get into space where Blaine Nunnally and Steele Brassfield, especially those 2 guys, can get going downhill toward the basket, good things can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as much as anything, the reaction to the press so often is you want to punish a team that presses you, and there has to be a way to throttle that back to a certain degree, because you're not punishing the opponent if you race down the court and take a bad shot, even if it's open. A lot of that's what we saw a lot last night, was a lot of kind of rushed shots, and a lot of times it was like they were being defended even if they were open, because they were expecting a defender to be coming from one angle or another. And I think that's where you need some practice against teams that press, and the only way to really get that is facing teams like what they're going to see tonight.
Absolutely. This Herron team in January. You mentioned this. They're scoring 90-plus a game. They put up 102 back on January 11th. They've got a very impressive win, as they've got really an eclectic schedule, as you might expect for a charter school in Indianapolis. They're a 3A size school, but they play a lot of 1A and 2A schools, charter schools, private schools, homeschool teams, a few non-IHSAA schools as well. But as far as common opponents, they lost to Richmond by 29, a team New Palestine beat. They lost to Roncalli by 24 back in December, but they've got a very impressive win. This isn't a common opponent, but a 99-87 victory over Hamilton Heights on January 9th. This is a quality basketball team.
Yeah, and both of those common opponents happened the first 2-3 weeks of the season, and you see the number that they were scoring in the 50s. They haven't visited that
quite a while.
The 50s in quite a while.
And so taking a look at this Herron team, they're led by 6'5 junior Ty Brown, who scores 23.2 points a game. 6-foot guard Matt Ray, 18.8 a game. And then Cam Bethel's their shooter. He's a 40% three-point shooter, averages 12 points a contest. Those will be the guys that will really look to produce for Herron. And then, of course, for the Dragons, Steele Brassfield, his 13th consecutive double-figure game last night. Blaine Nunnally is going to been had nights. Last night had 8 points, had 8 against Roncalli, had 24 against Franklin the other night on Saturday night as well. So he is somebody that has had some really big games. But really, for the Dragons, he needs to be the floor general.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. I think last night Steele edged back in front of Nunnally for one brief moment. Nunnally had moved ahead as the leading scorer, at least on a points per game basis. But by decimal points, I think because of the 4-point differential last night, Steele moves ahead. But, really where Nunnally can impact the game is setting up his opponents. He averages 3.7 assists per game. He's going to score. There's no doubt about it. But I think what he has to do is score more towards the basket and let some of the teammates be the beneficiary of him moving down court towards the basket, getting himself going downhill, and then creating opportunities for the shooters.
And that certainly will be something that we keep an eye on as the two teams head to the huddles, and we will get set to begin this contest. The Dragons taking on the Herron Acheans, and we'll bring you the starting lineups and the opening tip-off right after this. This is Dragon Basketball on NewPalRadio.com. Our broadcast is presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community and Dragon Athletics. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management. D&D Strictly Storage in New Palestine is your home for storage needs. D&D Strictly Storage offers a wide variety of storage sizes from 5 by 10 feet up to 10 by 30 feet. They also offer indoor and outdoor parking for your boats and RVs. Locally owned and operated by Don and Maria Blackwell, D&D Strictly Storage is who to call for your storage solution. They're located on County Road 400 West, just north of the railroad tracks in New Palestine. Call them at 861-9231. Again, that's 861-9231 for D&D Strictly Storage. Mention this ad and get your second month free with any rental.
Best in Sight Eye Care has been the leader of quality vision and eyewear in New Palestine for more than 20 years. Our experienced doctors, Tim Huffman, Mark Habing, and Colin Clairbout, use the most advanced state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. At Best in Sight Eye Care, you will find professionals who are dedicated to providing exceptional personal service to everyone who walks through the door. We are conveniently located on Arbor Lane in New Palestine. Just follow US 52 west of Mount Comfort Road. To schedule your appointment, visit bestinsighteyecare.com or call 861-4100. Give your vision the level of care it deserves. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase.
Now, back to the action on newpalradio.com.
It's about time for tip-off at the Dragons Den. Along with Mike Petrie, I'm Andrew Smith. Let's give you the starting lineups for tonight's game between the New Palestine Dragons and the Herron Acheans. We'll start with the Dragons, who come in with a record of 9-5. The forwards, Eli Stevens, a 6'1 senior at 4.7 points a game, and Steele Brassfield, a 6'5 junior, averaging 16.5 points a game. Matt Brown's in the middle, a 6'4 senior, averaging 7.8 a game. The backcourt, Blaine Nunnally, a 5'10 sophomore, averaging 16.5 a game, and C.J. Oliver, a 5'10 senior, averaging 6.3 points a contest. For the Herron Acheans, who have a mark of 10-4, under the tutelage of first-year coach Starlin Stevens, Cam Bethel, one of the forwards, a 6'2 senior, averaging 12.1 a game. Tindu Mabuke, a 6'3 senior, averaging 8.2 points and 6.2 rebounds, the other forward. Ty Brown in the middle, 6'5 junior, 23.2 a game. The backcourt, Matt Ray, is a 6-foot senior, averaging 18.8 a game, and Josh Wright, a 5'11 senior, averaging 5.6 points a contest. Our officials tonight are Gary Hamilton, Kenneth Ludlow, and Michael Grunban. The Dragons are in the home whites, the Acheans in the road black uniforms this evening. And this should be a fun one between two teams that have never played in boys basketball. These two schools have met a couple times in girls basketball, with the Dragons winning both. Steele Brassfield in the center jump circle against Mabuke. And the ball is in the air, and away we go. And the Acheans control the opening tip. Ty Brown will send it back to Matt Ray to start the offense. C.J. Oliver guarding Ray. Bounce pass to the right side to Ty Brown in the wing. Up top now for Mabuke. Now to Ray on the right wing. Oliver guards him as Ray backs it out high. Goes to the left side to Cam Bethel. Takes a couple of dribbles. Kicks it back up top to Ray. Herron's running a bit of a spread offense with one man in the post. That's Ty Brown, and he is called for a charging foul as he was trying to post up Eli Stevens, and Stevens went down, and that will be the first foul of the game.
Well, Eli earned that charge because he got up. He was sort of shaking his head. That hit a little bit harder than I think he was expecting.
So the Dragons get a stop on their first defensive possession. They now go to the offense. Herron in a man-to-man as the Dragons swing it around to C.J. Oliver on the left wing. Up top, Nunnally. Catch and shoot three is a little too strong. Brown collects the offensive rebound. Spin move into the lane, puts it up with the left hand, can't get it to go. And Ty Brown has the rebound for Herron. He'll dribble his own outlet, try to take it coast to coast, take Oliver down low, put it off glass and in, and Ty Brown has the first 2 points of the game.
Yeah, Ty Brown's really smooth with the ball. He's the tallest player on the court, so he plays in the front court, but a lot like what Steele does for the Dragons. When they need a ball handler, a lot of times it's going to end up being him.
Dragons running 1-4 high set. Brown kicks it out to Nunnally, now through Stevens in the high circle to the right wing for C.J. Oliver. Now to Steele Brassfield, open three. To the left of the top of the key is good. Steele Brassfield knocks down a three, and the Dragons lead at 3-2, and we have a quick whistle at a 30-second timeout called by Herron Starlin Stevens. Very early in this game, a minute and a half in, and there may be something he wants to talk about on the defensive end because the Dragons have gotten two pretty open looks from three on 2 possessions.
Right, and 2 open looks, one for Blaine Nunnally and one for Steele Brassfield. So you know that's the 2 guys that they were focusing on from a game plan standpoint. I guess needing to reinforce, no, that's the guys you cannot come off of.
Yeah, the Dragons struggled from 3 last night, but so far Brassfield has knocked one down. They're 1 for 2 to start the evening tonight. Matt Ray will bring it up out of the timeout. Slide it to the right side to Ty Brown. Stevens guarding him. Brown Looks for the drive, uses a screen, and we have a foul called on Eli Stevens as he was trying to get over the screen, so that'll be his first, the first on New Palestine.
And similar from a game plan standpoint, you know, any attention that was paid had to have been paid to Ty Brown. He has been able to get loose there, but that was more a result, I think, of a good screen from the Herron offensive player.
Eli Stevens just picked up a second foul as they fed Brown on the wing, and Stevens thought he had a steal. He got his arms tangled up, and just like that, less than 2 minutes into the game, Stevens is going to have to sit with a pair of fouls, and Kyle Bastian will check in for him.
It's interesting that Bastian is the first one off the bench tonight. I think that speaks to having to put a defensive pressure on Ty Brown.
And Bastian 6'3", as Brown launches a three from the wing. It won't go. C.J. Oliver has the rebound. Brassfield to push it into the front court. Into the right corner for Bastian. Takes one dribble, clears to Nunnally, bounce pass to Brown. Right block, spins to the middle, the left hand, gets it to roll over the rim and in. Matthew Brown gives the Dragons a 5-2 lead.
A really solid move. He took his time, set up the defender, and then was able to spin around.
Cam Bethel drives, puts it up with the left hand and scores. Bethel has his first two. The Dragons lead is 1. 5:40 to go opening quarter as Nunnally starts the offense. Brown comes out high to set the screen. Nunnally to the right wing. Gets into a little bit of trouble, but is able to clear it to Brassfield. Does a pass fake, drives into the lane, puts it up with the left hand and scores. Brassfield's got 5. The Dragons lead it by 3.
That was a fortunate pass that it found Brassfield.
Matt Ray into the corner for Ty Brown. Over to the right side, Mabuke feeds Ray. Right corner, takes a couple of dribbles, looks to drive baseline. Oliver cuts him off, and Ray loses the basketball out of bounds. That's the second Herron turnover.
Yeah, nice job by Oliver, letting the baseline be an extra defender, and really just did a great job cutting off the path to the basket.
C.J. Oliver's defense is what has earned him a spot in the starting lineup the last 5 games, and does so again there. Dragons weave it up top. Brassfield over to the left side. Brown hands off to Oliver. Turns the corner. Lost the handle, but got it back. Bounce pass to Brown. Left block. Kicks out to Nunnally. Over to the right side. Bastian wants 3. It's in and out. No good. Brown fighting for the rebound. Draws a foul.
Nice job by Brown fighting for that. Kept the ball in play at least, and the extra battle earns a foul. I'll be honest, I'm not sure Oliver's defense is as much of a difference maker for him, because really there aren't many bad defenders on this Dragons team, and CJ's offensive game is really what has taken off so much the last 5 or 6 games.
Bastian misses a 3. Brown missed the putback, but then Steele Brassfield with a steal, and he goes coast to coast to lay it in, and the Dragons lead at 9-4. Quickly the other way, Mabuke's shot is blocked, but the Acheans come up with it. It's blocked again by Kyle Bastian. Now to Josh Wright in the corner. To Ray, kicks it out for a 3-point attempt from Ty Brown that goes down. And Brown brings Herron right back into a 9-7 deficit.
Yeah, just a couple of fortunate bounces really off of the blocked shots go straight to Herron players.
Nunnally feeds Bastian, left wing, into Brassfield. His shot is blocked out of bounds by Ty Brown. Steele thought he had an open jump shot, but Brown came flying in to swat that one out of bounds. So the Dragons will inbound from the left corner. 3:57 to go in the first quarter. New Palestine leads at 9-7. Nunnally looking to inbound, skies it to Brown. Center of the lane, pitches out to Oliver, right corner, 3, that's his spot. And C.J. Oliver knocks it down, and the Dragons lead at 12-7.
Well, I'm glad C.J. is making me look smart, because his offense and the confidence that he plays with has just skyrocketed really since Christmas break.
Especially the back-to-back games of double figures. Here's a 3-point attempt by Ray from the top of the key that won't go, and Oliver has the rebound. Quickly ahead comes Blaine Nunnally for the Dragons, who lead it by 5. Bounce pass, Brown shows one way, goes the other, puts it off glass and in.
Move.
Beautiful post move from Matthew Brown from the right block, and the Dragons lead at 14-7. 3:15 to go as Ty Brown to start the offense for Herron. He has 5 points. He's guarded by Bastian. Looks to drive from the top of the key, draws a lot of attention, but hits a nice runner in the lane. And Ty Brown has his 7th point, and that cuts the Dragon lead to 5.
Awfully hard to defend one-on-one, which the Dragons really like to do, but, he's going to demand a double team as much as anybody, if at all possible.
Not only drives to the baseline, his shot is blocked from behind, out of bounds by Cam Bethel. Possession will stay with New Palestine. Substitutions both ways. Marlon Anderson checks in for Herron. He's a 6'1 senior, averages 4.5 rebounds a game. And Ian Stevens will check in for New Palestine, replacing C.J. Oliver, who gets a nice hand from the crowd. Baseline right, Dragons lead it by 5. Skies it to Brassfield, top of the key. He's being guarded by Josh Wright. They switch on him as Brassfield lobs it to Brown. He couldn't quite handle the pass. It's picked off by Wright. And the Acheans will push it the other way quickly. Cam Bethel into the lane, off glass and in.
That was the right idea, but it just didn't work out for the Dragons. But you see how quickly Herron can turn defense into offense.
That ball went 84 feet in about 2 seconds as the Acheans cut the Dragons' lead to 14-11. Ian Stevens with the basketball, left wing. Pitches to Nunnally, curls into the lane, elevates from 15. It goes halfway down and out, and the rebound collected by Ty Brown. He'll try to push it the other way into the right corner. Here's a drive by Ray. His shot is blocked out of bounds as Matthew Brown got the block, but then Ray provided the impetus to knock it out. It'll be Dragon possession.
Yeah, that was a nice bounce for the Dragons. I'm not quite sure how physically that could happen, but they kind of blocked it back into his hands, essentially.
2:02 to go first quarter. Blaine Nunnally crosses midcourt. Dragons lead it by 3. Nunnally being guarded by Cam Bethel. He's able to beat him, get into the lane, lose the handle, but Brown catches short corner right side. Over to Brassfield. He'll drive, draw contact, can't get the call or the shot. And then we have a whistle on the rebound, and there will be a foul, and this will be whistled on the Acheans. It's Josh Wright's second.
Somewhat surprised at that call because they've been letting so much of the contact go that seemed fairly tame in comparison. And both these teams, I think they can play at that looser referee style, but they both really do a great job of getting to the free throw line. Both have a free throw rate over 40%.
Well, we've got a whistle.
And I think it's
a bench warning on the Herron coaching staff. And Coach Starlin Stevens was not demonstrative at all, but now he is. After getting warned, Brassfield hits both free throws. The Dragons lead it by 5.
That's tempting fate a little bit too much if you weren't doing what the referees were accusing you of.
He must have said a magic word that just kind of annoyed the officials.
Right.
So here's a pull-up jumper from the free throw line from Brown that won't go. Ian Stevens has the rebound. Dragons with possession. Brassfield across midcourt. Final 85 seconds of the first quarter. Blaine Nunnally drives, splits a double team, puts a falling shot off the back of the rim. It just sat there twice and then fell off. Anderson with the rebound, and quickly the Acheans come the other way. Ray pitches it out to Bethel, left wing, takes one dribble, launches a 3 over Nunnally. It won't go, and Ian Stevens has another rebound, but it's knocked out of his hands, stolen by Brown, who lays it in.
Yeah, it's tough when they don't even need to have a made basket to set up the full court press.
55 seconds to go first quarter. It's a 3-point Dragon lead. Brassfield drives inside, dishes to Brown, into the corner to Ian Stevens, now to Bastian. He'll want 3 from the left wing. Good. Kyle Bastian knocks down the triple. The Dragons lead it by 6.
3 separate Dragons have hit 3-pointers, and that's when they're at their best, is when everybody on the court is able to spread out an opponent.
Cam Bethel feeds Ray in the high circle. Final 30 seconds of the quarter. Ray being guarded by Ian Stevens. Feed over to Brown in the corner, knocked out of bounds by Kyle Bastian.
We saw this style a bit from Warren Central last night, where everything is go, go, go for the first 7 minutes of a quarter, and then they get a possession in the last 40 seconds, and everything grinds to a halt. It's an interesting style difference. I'm not sure if the last shot is that much of an advantage.
Luke Burgess and Damon Hockett check in for the Dragons for this final defensive possession of the quarter. Herron in possession. Marlon Anderson has the top of the key, takes a couple of dribbles, and now feeds it to Matt Ray. He'll back out high right with 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Ian Stevens guarding him. Ray still on the bounce, looks to drive, gets past Stevens, drives on Burgess, and Burgess fouled him as Luke was trying to block the shot. That'll be his first foul.
And Matt Ray is probably the one player on this Achean team that you do not want to foul. He's 70 of 81 on the season.
It's a really good percentage, 86%. As a team, they shoot at 66% from the line, and Ray shows why he's an 86% foul shooter by draining the first. That's his first point.
Yeah, outside of him, not a lot of great shooters, but the big thing is he's the one that takes all the free throws. Yeah. He's got 81 attempts. Brown has 74 attempts, and nobody else has more than 40.
Ray made the second, and then Josh Wright just committed his third foul guarding the inbounder, and he remains in the game as he was up in the full court press trying to knock the ball free. Damon Hockett to inbound. Gets it ahead to Nunnally. It's knocked out of bounds by the Acheans' Matt Ray, so the Dragons will inbound. Top of the key extended right side with 3.1 seconds to go in the quarter. And Josh Wright's going to get a breather with 3 fouls as Josh Summers comes in for him.
And this gets back a little bit to Indianapolis Herron, playing for that last shot.
And the Dragons throw it away. They inbounded it to Burgess, and the pass was a little errant, and Luke tried to save it and ended up throwing it out of bounds. Long pass up, knocked away. Actually, it's caught by Brown. Turnaround 3, it's late. It hit the back of the rim, but it would not have counted had it gone. And so we're a quarter down here at New Palestine High School. A frenetically played first quarter sees the Dragons leading the Herron Acheans 19-15 after 1. This is Dragon Basketball on NewPalRadio.com. Our broadcast presented by All Star Turf Management.
Pork Vet Solutions is the best veterinary choice for your swine operation. Our 2 doctors, Matt Ackerman and Dylan Lape, can help you position your pork production system for the 21st century. We provide veterinary and consulting services, herd visits, preventive medicine, and more. Pork Vet Solutions is licensed and accredited in 8 states. Reach us online at porkvet.com or call 623-5132. That's porkvet.com or 623-5132. Pork Vet Solutions, literally saving your bacon each and every day.
At Real Life Church, we've done everything we can to create a place people love so they can experience a loving God. That means we do everything with you in mind. Whether it's our weekend services, our kids and student ministry, or small groups, we really have been expecting you. We've been praying for you, and we're excited about the opportunity to go on a spiritual journey with you. We hope that you'll take your next step and join us this weekend at Real Life Church. There's always room for you.
You're listening to The Dragons on NewPalRadio.com.
Second quarter action beginning at the Dragons' Den. New Palestine leading Herron 19-15. The Acheans show a 1-3-1 zone to start the second quarter. Blake Nunnally has it on the right wing. Feeds a beautiful no-look feed underneath to a cutting Ian Stevens who lays it in.
I thought he threw it wide of Luke Burgess, and it turns out that he did that on purpose.
Ian Stevens came from nowhere, caught that on the run, laid it in for his first 2. Dragons lead it by 6. We've played 30 seconds of the second quarter. Matt Ray was a pair of points guarded by Ian Stevens, takes it into the high circle. As looks like they're trying to spread the floor. Feed over to the wing is picked off by Bastion. 2-on-2, Bastion takes it up the left side, leaves it a little too strong, and Brown has the rebound for Herron, and they'll push it the other way. And Bethel shot off the bottom of the rim, but it's controlled by the Acheans as Anderson gets the rebound. A 3-pointer out of the right corner from Ray is too strong. Bastion has the rebound. Kyle Bastion getting some extended minutes here in the first half, and he'll launch a 3 from the right corner and knock it down. Second triple of the game for Kyle Bastion. The Dragon lead is 9.
And again, it gets back to the depth of the shooters on this New Pal squad. Kyle Bastion's essentially brought in for defensive purposes on a lot of occasions, and he's got 6 points, the second leading scorer.
Both on 3-pointers as Herron has the basketball down 9. Ray recoils, takes it into the right corner. Look to drive, lost the handle out of bounds. That'll be the 5th Achean turnover. New Palestine will retake possession. Oliver, Brassfield, and Brown all into the Dragon lineup. They're out there with Ian Stevens and Hockett.
Line change there as the Brassfield, Brown, and Oliver were out to start the second quarter.
Damon Hockett will take the point guard duties with Blaine Nunnally getting a breather. Working to Brassfield, right corner. Steal into the block for Matthew Brown. Fakes one way, pitches it back out to Brassfield. Loses the handle a little bit, feeds Ian Stevens right corner, fakes the 3, drives baseline, puts it up the left hand, count the basket, and Ian Stevens will have a 3-point play opportunity after a strong drive down the baseline, gives the Dragons a 11-point lead, and also of note, that is Ty Brown's second foul, Herron's leading scorer.
One thing, Ian Stevens last night, a lot of the Dragons essentially were second-guessing themselves in terms of shots, and then were passing up some good opportunities. Ian Stevens, to his credit, was not intimidated a bit. He just went right after the Warren Central Warriors.
He completes the three-point play to give the Dragons a 12-point lead. It's an 8-0 run to start the quarter. Brown takes it inside. The other Brown, Matthew, blocked a shot, but not legally, as he got a little bit of Ty Brown's arm, and so Ty Brown will shoot a pair. And that's the first foul on Matthew Brown. It's a big lineup out there with Ian Stevens at 6'4", Matthew Brown at 6'4", Steele Brassfield at 6'5", and Damon Hockett at 6'3". As Ty Brown hits the first free throw, he's the first player from either team in double figures. He's got 10.
Yeah, Hockett, and he started the season at the starting point guard role when Nunnally was out, and I think that he just adds a different dimension to playing defense against other teams' point guards. Generally, he's got a big size advantage.
Brown hits both free throws. The Acheans show full court pressure, and they get a steal, but Brassfield steals it back, takes it down the lane. Fall-away jumper from the center of the lane is good. Steele's got 11, the lead back up to 12.
Yeah, that one was on Marlon Anderson, that he threw a pass essentially into nowhere.
Can't do that, especially in the backcourt. Cam Bethel, a strong drive from the right side, hits the backboard, nothing else. Brown with a rebound, quickly ahead. The Dragons push it to Damon Hockett. His shot is halfway down and out, but Steele Brassfield tips it up and in. He's got 13. The Dragon lead is 14. It's a 12-2 run to begin the quarter. Ty Brown working on Hockett. Feeds into the corner for a catch-and-shoot three from Cam Bethel. It's off the front of the rim, no good. C.J. Oliver has the rebound. His pass for Brassfield was knocked out of bounds by Bethel. It'll stay with New Palestine. We'll see Eli Stevens and Blaine Nunnally check back in, replacing Hockett and Ian Stevens. So the original starting five now back on the floor for the Dragons.
Yeah, that was a good stretch by Hockett. I think Coach Whitaker was inclined to just leave him in as long as he could, and as long as the lead kept growing.
Steele Brassfield launches a three from the left wing, and Eli Stevens is called for a rebounding foul after the shot was no good, and Stevens got tangled up, and it was a pretty easy call for Gary Hamilton. The fans behind us didn't like it. Gary shot them a look, but...
Well, from the fan standpoint, I can understand it to a degree, because it looked like he was still being boxed out even as he was committing the foul. It was the right call, but it was he was still essentially on the outside with that.
Cam Bethel drives, loses the handle. Brown with the steal. Dragons with numbers. Brown pushes it, tried to feed it inside. It was kicked. It's loose on the floor. Bodies flying everywhere. And a jump ball is called, and that will give possession to the Acheans.
Matthew Brown, man's got to know his limitations. Leading the break is not what he is not what he is in there to do.
Been a while since the Acheans have hit a field goal. It's a 31-17 New Palestine lead. Their only points this quarter, 2 free throws by Ty Brown. Matt Ray starts the offense. Left wing, Cam Bethel drives to the baseline. Step back jumper from 18, it's an air ball. And C.J. Oliver is fouled as he was trying to collect the loose ball. This will be the first on Josh Summers.
And they're being guarded at a level I think that they are not used to or we're not expecting, because they are missing some shots really badly.
New face in the game for Herron is Eben Oakes. He's a 6'3 senior. And Ty Brown is taking a breather with 2 fouls. Here's a drive from the top by Nunnally, and he lays it in with the right hand. Blaine Nunnally's first 2 of the game gives New Palestine a 16-point lead.
Nice job by Nunnally. He just set Summers up and rocked him to sleep for a second and then blew right past him.
Malik Africa feeds it up top to Tindu Mabuki, and now back out top to Matt Ray for Herron. 3:37 to go, second quarter. Ray looks to drive all the way from the top, and Bastian blocked his shot, but Steele Brassfield is called for a blocking foul, as it was a good block, a really good block by Kyle Bastian, but then Brassfield was the next defender and ended up sliding over late, and this will send Matt Ray to the line for a pair.
And again, Ray, the excellent free throw shooter, for the most part, has not had the offensive impact that Herron would have expected. He's the second leading scorer at 18.9 points per game and averages about 4 assists per game, but pretty much the Dragons have been able to keep him from impacting the game other than those 4 free throws.
Ray hits both of these free throws for his third and fourth point. Dragons inbound against full court pressure. Blaine Nunnally going coast to coast against that pressure. Lays it up and in. Blaine's got 4. The lead is 16. Quickly the other way. Malik Africa has a shot blocked by Matthew Brown. And Kyle Bastian has the rebound. Clears it to Brassfield. Dragons on the run. Brassfield loses the handle. He's fouled. He'll go to the line, as that's the 7th team foul on the Acheans.
Still marveling a bit at the extra speed that Blaine Nunnally has. He is plenty fast, but it's once he sees that he has an open lane to the basket, he hits absolutely an extra gear and leaves a lot of defenders in the dust.
Brassfield hits the first free throw. That gives New Palestine a 36-19 lead. Steele is 14 of the Dragons' 36, and now 15 of their 37 as he completes the 2-shot foul. Herron with the basketball. Malik Africa, right wing, up top to Oaks. Oaks looks to drive, loses the handle. It's loose on the floor, picked up by C.J. Oliver. He'll look to push it the other way. Head to Nunnally, a right-hand layup is good. The Dragons beating Herron at their own game right now. They lead it by 20. Quickly the other way, here comes Ray. Feeds inside for a shot that won't go from Mabuke, and Steele Brassfield with the rebound. Nunnally ahead to Brown, lays it up, and it won't go off the front of the rim. C.J. Oliver came flying in to get the rebound, and is going to be called for a foul as he was trying to knock the ball free, but in the eyes of the official, enough contact to warrant a foul call, and we'll make an 84-foot walk because that is the 7th team foul in New Palestine.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate foul on C.J. Oliver. He was being the aggressor there. Malik Africa essentially just got the recipient of that foul just essentially for being the one that was in the area.
He will go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. Will Malik Africa, 6'1" senior. And it grazes the front of the rim, no good. Steele Brassfield with the rebound. Dragons with a 20-point lead in the basketball, 2:35 to go in the opening half of play.
I was a bit worried about the Dragons' legs coming into tonight, but quite honestly, Herron is the team who seems to be missing their legs a little bit on some of their shots.
Dragons with possession. Steele Brassfield drives down the lane, and he is fouled as he was going to the hoop. And see who this is on. If that is, and it is, on Ty Brown, that's his 3rd. That's a big development for an Achean team that now with 2 starters with 3 fouls, but Ty Brown's their leading scorer both in the game and on the season, and he's likely going to have to sit with 3 fouls. Steele Brassfield's 4 for 4 from the line tonight, now 5 for 5 as he hits the first free throw. That is point number 16 for him.
So Brown does head to the bench. Cam Bethel will take his spot.
Makes Herron a little bit smaller. The Dragons have a huge lineup out there right now as they've got both Matthew Brown and Luke Burgess as well as Steele Brassfield, the front line. They're going to go with the 2-3 zone. New Palestine leads at 41-19 after Brassfield hits the 2 free throws. Here's a 3-point attempt by Malik Africa from the left wing that goes. That's Herron's first field goal of the second quarter. It comes with 2:05 showing on the clock and cuts the Dragon lead to 19. Oliver with it, left wing. Looks to drive into the middle of the lane, pitches out to Nunnally. He'll kick it now to the high left, Brassfield to Brown. Left block, kicks it into the right corner for Oliver. He wants 3, it's good.
And a nice setup by Brown. He attracted all of the attention and got a great pass even with a player in his face and on his arm.
Dragons again in a 2-3. Eben Oaks will fire a 3 out of the right corner. He knocks it down. Back-to-back threes for Herron against this 2-3 zone. The Dragon lead back down to 19. Blaine Nunnally up top with 1:15 to go. Picks up his dribble, bounce pass to Burgess, right block. Drives around a defender, tries to split a double team, goes up with the left hand and travels. Like he just shuffled the feet trying to set himself under the basket, and that's the 6th Dragon turnover.
Yeah, he a couple of times, and we saw this with Matthew Brown a little bit earlier on in the season. There are a couple of times where Luke is still thinking it through as he's making his post moves.
Dragons will switch back to a man-to-man after giving up threes on back-to-back possessions in zone. Final minute of the first half, they lead it by 19. Eben Oaks, who hit the most recent three, feeds Ray, uses a screen, gets to the top of the key, looks to drive left side of the lane over. Burgess leaves it a little too strong. C.J. Oliver with the rebound, looks to push it in transition. Drops it off for Brassfield. His three in the air is good. Steele Brassfield having a huge night as he's got 20 and the Dragon lead is 47-25. Well, he's got 18. My math is slightly off, but he's closing in on 20.
There you go. That's that journalism.
Final half minute of the first half as Ray tries to drive. Ball's knocked out of his hands out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Acheans. 24.3 seconds to go. Dragons lead at 47-25. Highest scoring half of this New Palestine team in a long time. Cam Bethel with it in the corner. Up top to Matt Ray. He'll work it over to Malik Africa. Looks to drive. Cut off by Nunnally. Pitches it back out to Bethel. He'll drive. Have his shot blocked by Burgess. Brassfield picks up the loose ball. 8 seconds to go as he crosses midcourt. Feeds Oliver up the left side. And he gets one to roll over the rim and in. CJ's got 8. The lead is 24. Here's a three at the buzzer by Bethel that is late. And that is how the first half ends. The New Palestine Dragons put up 30 in the second quarter and lead the Herron Acheans 49-25. The D&D Strictly Storage Best Insight Family Eye Care halftime show comes up right after this. This is Dragon Basketball on newpalradio.com. Our broadcast is presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community and Dragon Athletics. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management. D&D Strictly Storage in New Palestine is your home for storage needs. D&D Strictly Storage offers a wide variety of storage sizes from 5 by 10 feet up to 10 by 30 feet. They also offer indoor and outdoor parking for your boats and RVs. Locally owned and operated by Don and Maria Blackwell, D&D Strictly Storage is who to call for your storage solution. They're located on County Road 400 West, just north of the railroad tracks in New Palestine. Call them at 861-9231. Again, that's 861-9231 for D&D Strictly Storage. Mention this ad and get your second month free with any rental.
Best in Sight Eye Care has been the leader of quality vision and eyewear in New Palestine for more than 20 years. Our experienced doctors, Tim Huffman, Mark Habig, and Colin Clairbout, use the most advanced state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. At Best in Sight Eye Care, you will find professionals who are dedicated to providing exceptional personal service to everyone who walks through the door. We are conveniently located on Arbor Lane in New Palestine. Just follow US 52 west of Mount Comfort Road. To schedule your appointment, visit bestinsighteyecare.com or call 861-4100. Give your vision the level of care it deserves. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase.
You're listening to The Dragons on newpalradio.com.
Halftime at the Dragons' Den. The New Palestine Dragons leading the Herron Acheans 49-25. It's time for a D&D Strictly Storage Best Insight Family Eye Care halftime show. Along with Mike Petrie, I am Andrew Smith, and let's go over the halftime scoring numbers first for New Palestine. Steele Brassfield has 20 of their 49 points. He has 6 field goals. 2 of them are threes. He is 6 of 6 from the line. C.J. Oliver has 8 on a pair of threes and a 2. Blaine Nunnally is 3 baskets for 6 points. Kyle Bastian has a pair of threes for 6. Ian Stevens has a pair of baskets and a free throw for 5. Matthew Brown has hit a pair of shots for 4. Also Eli Stevens, Damon Hockett, Luke Burgess have played but have yet to score. 18 field goals for the Dragons. 6 of them were threes. They were 7 of 7 from the line. For Herron, they're led by Ty Brown, who has 11 points on 4 field goals, including a 3. He's 2 of 2 from the line. Nobody else has more than 4. Cam Bethel, a pair of baskets for 4. Matt Ray, 4 free throws for 4. Evan Oakes hit a 3. Malik Africa hit a 3, also missed a free throw. And Josh Wright, Josh Summers, Tendo Mabuke, and Marlon Anderson have played, but have yet to score for Herron, which had 8 field goals, including just 2 in the second quarter. 3 threes, and they were 6 of 7 from the line. It was 19-15, New Palestine led after a quarter, and then a 30-10 second quarter opens up a 49-25 halftime lead. That's, Mike Petrie, I think as good of a half as you can ask for, especially a second quarter. Kind of an uneven start just because I think you're trying to feel each other out,
right.
But once they made a few adjustments to what Herron was doing offensively, this New Palestine team was off and running because they can play at the pace Herron wants to play at.
Right, and I think that they showed that they can do that and still be in control. Defensively, that's as good, as locked in as I've seen the Dragons. And what they were forcing Herron into was essentially a lot of contested shots that were uncontested in a lot of cases, where they were getting Herron to start seeing ghosts the way the Dragons were seeing them last night, blocking so many shots and contesting so many shots that even open looks, kind of Herron was looking over their shoulder, so to speak. So I think that was really impressive. The other thing, when you've got a dominant scorer like Ty Brown, there's 2 different schools of thought. One, you can kind of just let him get his points without over-committing to help and taking away from other options. And that's what the Dragons did Dragons did tonight, because Brown has scored essentially what is on pace for what he will normally score in a game, but the rest of his team has not come to play because they're not getting any open looks created from Brown's offensive exploits.
Yeah, and he scored early.
Yeah.
But then was limited. Now he's got some serious foul troubles. He's got 3 fouls, and that's an issue. And the Dragons have done this as well, playing pretty much the entire half without Eli Stevens. He's only played about 2.5 minutes because he too has 3 fouls. But
right.
Kyle Bastian, somebody who started early in the season and has been coming off the bench the last 5 games, has really given the Dragons a spark. This is his best game in quite a while, both defensively guarding Brown, and he's knocked down a pair of threes as well.
Right, absolutely. What he gives you defensively is being able to stay with Brown and contain any dribble drives. That's really what Herron you can see in their offense that's what they're trying to do quite a bit, and they're just not finding any openings there. They're not getting past their initial defender, which would require the rest of the team to help defensively, and that's where you create openings. But Herron's not getting past that initial defender, whether it's Bastian, C.J. Oliver has done a good job on the perimeter, Stevens for the time he was in there, or Ian Stevens and Damon Hockett have all done a great job of containing their the initial dribbles.
And that's the key. When you face a team that likes to spread the floor and drive, you just got to keep them in front.
Right.
And that's something the Dragons have done very well in this one. This is just the middle of a big week of basketball here on NewPalRadio.com. Last night, of course, we brought you 2 games. One from here, girls basketball, and one from Warren Central. Tomorrow night, more girls basketball. It's the final game of the regular season for Coach Sarah Gizzi's Dragons as they take on the Ritter Raiders. Special start time of 6:30 tomorrow, and I'll be with you on both the YouTube channel and on NewPalRadio.com at 6:25. And then Friday night, Mike and I will bring you the boys contest against the Yorktown Tigers. That game will tip off at 7:30, and we'll be with you again on both channels at 7:25 p.m. And then Dragons get a little bit of a breather as it's girls sectional week next week. So just one game next week, and it is a home game on Saturday against Perry Meridian on the 6th. And that'll be a 1:30 tip-off, an afternoon game.
Yeah, they are continuing their tour of the Fab 15 from Indiana, the Indy Stars high school rankings from around the area, continuing to play high-quality opponents.
As the Perry Meridian Falcons will be here, Coach Mark James's squad, and that will be a week from Saturday. So that's what we have upcoming here on NewPalRadio.com. Here it's halftime. The Dragons leading Herron 49-25. We'll take our last break of the D&D Strictly Storage Best Insight Family Eye Care halftime show. When we come back, Mike and I will bring you all the second half action. This is Dragon Basketball on NewPalRadio.com. Our broadcast is presented by All-Star Turf Management.
Catch the Shot Photography is your hometown photographer. Locally owned by Brenda Adams Turk and David Turk, Catch the Shot is dedicated to providing quality photos of your family, seniors, sports, and special events. We offer custom designed products including sponsor banners, photo collages, senior banners, and much more. We look forward to catching the shots with you. Contact Catch the Shot Photography at 317-620-1240 or catchtheshot.com. With a former Dragon star in Bloomington, all eyes should be on the Hoosiers football program this year. HoosierHuddle.com is a free and independent site that has covered the football team since 2013. They provide roster analysis, player profiles, interviews, game previews, wrap-ups, and more. You can follow them on Twitter at Hoosier_Huddle or visit HoosierHuddle.com to keep up with your in-state favorites.
You're listening to The Dragons on NewPalRadio.com.
Getting set to begin the second half along with Mike Petrie. I'm Andrew Smith. Thanks for joining us on this rare Wednesday night for boys basketball as the Dragons taking on the Herron Acheans. This game was scheduled last week, and as both teams had openings, this COVID season has kind of created some interesting matchups. Of course, the Dragons last night played Warren Central. That was another game added to the schedule. That was the first time those two programs had played in 13 seasons. Earlier, a game at Benton Central as well. That's the longest road trip New Palestine has ever taken for a single regular season game. They have gone farther for a tournament. They played a tournament in Jasper in the 70s when athletic director Al Cooper was playing for the Dragons, but never for a single game have they gone that far.
I was expecting further for the tournament for the sectionals at Richmond.
That's they've made some doozies of some drives for the of course last year to Muncie and to Richmond, and those two seem to have become the kind of the rotational hosts for the sectional for the time being.
I wouldn't mind it so much if it wasn't the HHC Invitational.
Which it usually is.
Right.
As the Dragons inbound, Cam Bethel immediately commits a foul 5 seconds in. 4 HHC teams in the tournament, as well as 3 North Central Conference schools, Richmond, Muncie Central, and Anderson. Dragons in possession to begin the second half. C.J. Oliver with it on the right wing. They have their original starting 5 to Blaine Nunnally. He'll back it out to the high right side and reset the offense. Nunnally over to the right side. Oliver to the top for Eli Stevens. Lob into the middle for Brown. Takes it to the left hand. Puts it off the back of the rim, and it rolls in. Matthew Brown's got 6. And the lead is 26.
He has such a good soft touch that even on the shots where he misses, it seems like it hangs on the rim forever.
A 3-point attempt from the wing from Cam Bethel that doesn't go, but we have a rebounding foul called on New Palestine.
Eli took another giant hit on that one. He was trying to draw a charge again.
The foul was Matthew Brown's second. Herron in possession. Ty Brown, who's playing with 3 fouls, drives to the baseline, is cut off by Stevens. They'll work it up top to Cam Bethel. Drives on Brassfield, right side of the lane, nearly lost the handle, but got it back. Hooks it out to Ray, left wing. Dribbles the elbow, launches a 15-footer and gets it to go. That's the first 2-point basket Herron has scored since the late stages of the first quarter.
Matt Ray showing the good sense. He's such a good free throw shooter. He just dribbled straight to the free throw line and put up a field goal attempt from there.
It's a pretty wise move there. As 51-27 the Dragons lead, they'll send it back to Brown. Right block, high off the glass and in after he posts his man up. Matthew Brown has had a really nice game with 8 points.
His points always seem like they come in bunches, too. Like 2 or 3 possessions in a row, and then it'll go away.
Ty Brown drives inside, loses his defender, can't get the initial shot to go, but tips in the rebound. Dragons lead is 53-29. Steele Brassfield drives inside and draws a foul.
Steele's a little bit fortunate there because when the contact actually occurred, his forearm was far extended, but I think it was the right call. The defender didn't have any position.
Yeah, and that play also forced him to dribble it off his foot, so they really had no choice but to call the foul. Inbounds to Brown, takes it to the left hand, leaves it a little strong. Eli Stevens flies in to get the offensive rebound. Out to Brown, baseline jumper, won't go. Blaine Nunnally goes flying in but can't secure the rebound, and it's taken down by Cam Bethel of Herron. He'll push it the other way to Ty Brown, and Starlin Stevens wants a timeout before any of that can happen.
Well, a lot of that
it's a 30, so we'll keep it here.
A lot of that was because his point guard, Matt Ray, got knocked down by Nunnally on the rebound attempt and was slow coming back down the court. That's one way to slow down a transition offense, but Ray still kind of looked a little dazed heading back to the bench. I think he got something in his eye.
It may be the case. He's standing off to the side of the huddle right now, and looks like he's going to remain in the game. He is, as he and Blaine just kind of got, he and CJ just got tangled up.
Yeah, and I got the wrong number. It was Josh Wright that got knocked down and was slow. He has stayed in the game as well.
Inbounds pass to Matt Ray. He'll use a screen, dribble to the right elbow, get cut off by Brown, pitch it out to Malik Africa. Takes it to the right elbow, hands off to Ray, steps back, and then pitches it over to Bethel, high left. Brassfield guarding him. Bethel spin move into the lane, loses the handle, and it's last touched by New Palestine as ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Herron. I think Brassfield got a hand in on that one. So Josh Wright to inbound. He's playing with 3 fouls as well. Into Mabuke. Top Ray, jab step once, twice, drives on Oliver, takes it with the left hand, can't get it to go, gets an offensive rebound, does Tendo Mabuke, and a foul is whistled on the Dragons. Steele Brassfield, that's his second.
And that is generously described as shooting.
Very generously. Mabuke will go to the line, and he rims this one no good. It was halfway down the basket, and that's spun out.
I'm not sure that does him any favors. I think he's about a 60% free throw shooter.
And that is the case, as he does hit the second, so staying true to form. Splits the 2. Dragon lead is 23. It's been as high as 26. And 1-3, 1-3-quarter court press, and the Dragons beat it by lobbing it from Nunnally, half-court pass to Brassfield, who elevates and tips it in for his 22nd point.
Fantastic job by Brassfield on the alley-oop there. He looked like he was going to come down with it, then at the last second just throws it softly off the glass.
Right, feeds inside to Mabuke, kicks it over to the left corner for a 3-point attempt from Bethel that won't go, and Eli Stevens secures the weak side rebound. Quickly ahead to Brassfield, over to the left side, Blaine Nunnally. Bounces it to Brown, left block, takes it to the left hand, puts it off glass and in. Brown's in double figures with 10, and the lead back up to 27.
That had to have been a point of emphasis at halftime. They've gone to Brown 3 of about 5 half-court sets.
There's a 3-pointer out of the left corner by Matt Ray that goes down, and that cuts the Dragon lead to 57-33. Ray's got 9 points. And Blaine Nunnally feeds Brassfield. Wide open 3, left corner, front of the rim, no good. Long rebound is secured by Matt Ray, and he'll push it the other way. In a hurry, pull-up jumper from 15, right side won't go. Eli Stevens battling for the rebound, knocks it free. Oliver is diving for it on the floor, but it's picked up by the Acheans. Drive inside Bethel to Mabuke. He roots himself out some room under the basket and lays it in.
Nice play by Mabuke there. He created just enough space.
Again, Herron, full court pressure. Dragons break it, leading by 22. CJ Oliver underneath Brassfield. He went up to shoot, and as he was doing so, was trying to dump it off to Brown. And they do say he's in the act of shooting, however. The foul on Malik Africa is his first.
The Acheans doing are setting up a much more structured press. In the first half, they were trying to pressure New Pal essentially one-on-one, and we're getting nothing from that effort. Now they're setting up a little more structure to their press, and it's at least making the Dragons slow things down, advancing into the front court.
Brassfield misses the first free throw. That's the first miss for him or for the game. He's now 6 of 7 from the line. Second free throw is a swish. And so he's got 23. That is the extent of the Dragons' lead as we tick inside 3:50 of the third quarter. Matt Ray for the Acheans starts the offense, kicks it over to Malik Africa, back to Cam Bethel. Looks to drive down the lane, has a shot blocked by Steele Brassfield, and Eli Stevens has the rebound. Brassfield will bring it across midcourt, feeds Blaine Nunnally, wide open three. Nobody picked him up from the left side, but he leaves it too strong, and the weak side rebound taken down by Ray. Quickly ahead, they go to Josh Summers, kicks it out for an open three by Josh Wright. It rims no good. Brassfield tips the rebound into the hands of Matthew Brown. He's in a double team, but is able to outlet to Blaine Nunnally. Crosses midcourt, full head of steam, takes it up with the left hand, can't get it to go. And Kyle Bastian with the offensive rebound. It won't go. Rebound fought for, and what do we got? A jump ball called, and the possession will go to Herron.
And Cam Bethel covering his face. I think he got a ball or a arm to the mouth, it looks like.
Yeah, he's gonna.
He's expecting some blood coming out of his mouth. I don't know if he's getting it, but
kind of wiping it with the jersey. And the officials are checking, make sure he's okay. 58-35 is the Dragons' lead. Herron with possession. New Palestine took a 20-plus point lead with a 30-10 second quarter. Now we have an offensive foul, an illegal screen away from the ball. Josh Summers commits his second. It's the 9th Herron turnover of the game.
Yeah, that's a tough call against Herron, but I think it's the right one. He let his man go past and then just tried to step into Nunnally, didn't have himself set.
Blaine Nunnally kicks it out into the corner to Ian Stevens, who's checked into the game. Back out high right to Nunnally. He's in a trap, hooks it to Bastian, top of the key. Over to the left side, looking for Eli Stevens. It was knocked out of bounds. Good defensive play by Cam Bethel, who came over to give us a visit over here in the near the scorer's table. Now Luke Burgess will replace Matthew Brown in the Dragons lineup. Brown has had a really nice game with 10 points. Nunnally to inbound to Ian Stevens. Takes one dribble, bounces it underneath to Burgess. He loses the handle. It's kicked around, comes into the paint to Kyle Bastian, who picks it up and lays it in for his 8th point.
Well, that's what you get for being aware. Nice job by Bastian.
25-point Dragon lead. Ray will launch a three off the dribble. It's off the backboard, and the lively Karam comes out to Cam Bethel. He'll drive into the lane. Step back jumper won't go. Offensive rebound, Josh Wright. Out to Bethel, gets his man in the air, puts up a 14-footer that won't go. And the rebound is corralled by Ian Stevens, who had the defense on the shot.
The Dragons have had more block shots tonight than they have in a month usually.
Bastian launches a three out of the corner. It won't go. His arm got hit on the follow-through, but the official did not see it. And the Acheans get the rebound. Matt Ray has it high left, guarded by Ian Stevens. Drives past him, tried to shoot over both Stevens and Luke Burgess. Couldn't get the shot to go, but he does draw a foul.
And they're blocking it from all angles. It's you're seeing some blocks from the front, from the back. At a certain point, you're just not safe going up with a jump shot in the middle of the woods there.
Matt Ray hits the first free throw. He now has 10 points, and that's the thing. This Dragons team, right now, they've got a lineup with a lot of size. Burgess is 6'8". Bastian is 6'5". Hockett is Bastian is 6'3", as is Hockett. Stevens is 6'4". Ian Stevens is.
Yeah.
And then you've got 5'10" Blaine Nunnally bringing the ball up. Free throw was no good as Ray missed the second. The lead is 24 for New Palestine. Nunnally feeds Burgess. Takes it to the middle and can't get the shot to go. It may have been blocked. Burgess gets his own loose ball. It's knocked out of his hands. He tips it out, but ends up turning it over. Josh Summers with the steal. Kicks it out to Ray. He drives into the lane, draws contact, doesn't get the shot or the call, and the rebound comes down to New Palestine. Blaine Nunnally across midcourt, full head of steam. Tried to dump it off to Burgess. The pass is picked off by Malik Africa, and here come the Acheans as this game's gotten really ragged. And Josh Wright drives up the left side, can't get the shot to go. It gets stuck in the rim but he is fouled, and this will send right to the free throw line.
And you see Lane Nunnally going over and talking to Coach Whitaker. I'm sure that Coach is making the exact same point that you are. It's looking a little ragged, just a little too much up back and forth, and turning the ball over for Coach to be pleased with that particular stretch.
The foul is on Kyle Bastian. That's his first. Wright makes the first free throw and misses the second. Ian Stevens has the rebound, and he is fouled. Malik Africa with the push on Stevens. Blaine Nunnally has taken a breather as Steele Brassfield has checked in for him. Final minute of the third quarter. The lead for the Dragons is 23. Damon Hockett over to the right side to Bastian. Lobs it underneath to Burgess. And a 3-second violation is called as Burgess had been camped down on the lanes. Back-to-back turnovers here in the latter stages of the third quarter for New Palestine.
And they're working some of their reserves in, so it's to be expected to a degree, but and some guys playing kind of out of position.
Cam Bethel into the semicircle over to the right side. Ray working on Damon Hockett, tries to drive past him. Luke Burgess comes over to block his shot. Loose ball on the floor, and I believe a jump ball will be called. Nothing's been signaled yet, but possession will go to New Palestine, and that is the case. Nobody signaled a jump ball, but the officials all did what they do in the jump ball. They moved the whistle from pocket to pocket and looked over at the arrow. And so, new face in the game is Robert White for Herron. He's a 5'8" senior. 34 seconds to go. Full court pressure. Damon Hockett will bring it up. Hockett pitches it ahead to Bastian. Takes it to the right baseline. Back up top for Hockett. Feeds Burgess into the middle. Takes it to the left hand and draws a foul. So Luke Burgess will go to the line to shoot a pair.
They were Dragons just a little bit faster getting the ball to Luke on that possession, and it worked to his benefit. He had himself well set up on the previous possession. It was just he had camped out in the lane too long. One thing to look on the far sideline, Eli Stevens being attended to. Looks like might have gotten, I guess, some blood or floor burn that he is getting treated by the training staff.
Yeah, Heather Campbell, the trainer, over taking a look at him. Luke Burgess hits both free throws. The lead is 25. Herron in possession. Cam Bethel over to the left side. Takes a big stop into the lane, pitches it up top for Josh Summers, whose three goes down. Summers' first three of the game. That's his first three of the season, as a matter of fact. Damon Hockett will bring it up. 3-2-1 half-court shot. He's fouled. He was being guarded heavily by Malik Africa, threw up a half-court shot, and he was fouled, and we have a technical foul that has been assessed as well. And I'm not sure if Gary Hamilton called that on the bench or on one of the players. He's over all the way across from the bench, so I think it's on one of the players.
That has to be on one of the players. Yeah, the coaching staff all sitting on the bench and kind of head in their hands.
So Damon Hockett will get 3 free throws.
And that's the fourth on Malik Africa.
So Africa was called for the personal. That was his third, and then the technical as well. So he has 4 fouls. Damon Hockett to shoot 3 free throws. He's all by his lonesome at the free throw line. He misses the first. That one rimmed to no good. Damon's an 85% foul shooter. The Dragons will have a 20-plus point lead as we head into the fourth. As Hockett hits the second, he has 1 more, and then we'll get 2 more free throws as well. Hockett misses the third, so he hits 1 of the 3.
He may not get those 2 now. Yeah. He missed 2 of 3.
Kyle Bastian will go to the line to shoot the 2. Damon's an 85% free throw shooter, so a bit uncharacteristic for him to miss 2 of 3, although it's a little more difficult to shoot when there's nobody on the lane. There's nobody on the lane. It's a little bit different perspective. Bastian hits the first, and he'll have 1 more coming and hits that too. So the Dragons convert 3 of the 5 free throws to end the quarter.
Okay.
So Gary Hamilton comes over to explain to us that it was an unsporting technical, and that is also a personal foul on him as well. So 3 quarters are in the books here at the Dragons' Den. The Dragons lead at 65-40. over the Herron Acheans. We'll take a break, come back right after this with the fourth quarter. This is Dragon Basketball on NewPowerRadio.com.
At Real Life Church, we've done everything we can to create a place people love so they can experience a loving God. That means we do everything with you in mind. Whether it's our weekend services, our kids and student ministry, or small groups, we really have been expecting you. We've been praying for you, and we're excited about the opportunity to go on a spiritual journey with you. We hope that you'll take your next step and join us this weekend at Real Life Church. There's always room for you.
Catch the Shot Photography is your hometown photographer. Locally owned by Brenda Adams Turk and David Turk, Catch the Shot is dedicated to providing quality photos of your family, seniors, sports.
And we'll tell you about Catch the Shot when we take our next break, as we went to fourth quarter action very quickly. Dragons lead at 65-40, and Eben Oaks is in the game, launches a three for Herron. It won't go. The rebound knocked out of Brassfield's hands. Loose ball is collected by Bastian for the Dragons. Quickly up to Ian Stevens. Now to Damon Hockett. He tried to dunk it. Didn't get that to go, but he'll get a chance for two 15-footers instead as he's fouled. Logan Strong tried to dunk a couple of times in the JV game, and the second time they kind of took exception to it. Kind of the same thing there. Right? Not that anybody was taking exception, but I don't think they were going to allow Mr. Hockett to dunk that.
Yeah, if he was going to dunk it, he was going to have to go through somebody. And he was not quite up to the rim from the start. I don't think they had to worry about it so much.
Hockett hits the first of the two free throws and the second. It's now 67-40, New Palestine lead. A feeling we will likely see a lot of players here in the fourth quarter as Oaks misses a three. Ian Stevens tips the rebound to Damon Hockett. He'll push it up the right side. Hockett in transition, bounce pass to Burgess. He goes up strong, can't get the shot to go, but he'll go to the line.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for the Dragons to look into their bench a little bit because, you know, going back, they've played a lot of tight games, and even the ones that ended up being in double digits, there were a lot of games where it was 10 and very much in doubt late into the fourth quarter.
Luke Burgess to the line to shoot a pair, and he hits the first. Of course, you played last night.
Yep.
You've got a conference game in 2 nights, and of course the Dragons a half a game back, and they're a game back in the loss column of Mount Vernon and Delta, who play each other this weekend, so one of those teams will have a loss. And so they're very much in the mix for the conference title. Burgess misses the second free throw. It's a 28-point lead. The Acheans send it inside to Mabuke. His pass is knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with New Palestine.
And I suppose from that standpoint, you're rooting for a Mount Vernon win because the Dragons probably the best team remaining on the schedule after Delta that has a chance at beating Mount Vernon.
And if that were the case, the Dragons essentially control their own destiny. Here's a shot that rolls in from Eben Oaks. That's his 5th point.
Mount Vernon looked really good last night against Shelbyville.
Yeah, and so winning big. New Palestine has Yorktown, Shelbyville, and Mount Vernon, their remaining conference games. Damon Hockett drives, puts it up with the left hand with a good baseline drive, and scores his 5th point. 70-42, New Palestine leads. Lob inside to Mabuke. His shot is recycled by Luke Burgess. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Dragons. And we'll see Oliver, Brown, Stevens, and Nunnally check in, and Steele Brassfield will remain on the floor. So the original starting 5 will get a few minutes here to finish things up.
Chance to stretch out the lead a little bit more. I would not be surprised to see the guys that just headed to the bench head back here pretty quickly.
A basket by Josh Wright, and then the Dragons turn it over against the press, and then Wright is fouled inside. And so he'll go to the line to shoot a pair. I'm not sure that's what you wanted if you're Trent Whitaker putting your starting lineup back in and they immediately turn it over.
Right. I think, and you kind of see they're not used to this cadence of a game. They kind of look like they're still just getting back into it themselves, body language-wise.
Wright hits the first free throw. Matt Ray's back in for Herron. Not seen much of Ty Brown. He's got 4 fouls. And so his minutes have been limited after scoring 9 of his 13 points in the first quarter. Wright hits the second. The lead is 24 for New Palestine. 70-46 as Blaine Nunnally crosses midcourt. Feeds Brassfield, left wing, explodes the basket, but has the ball knocked free. It comes loose to Stevens, and he is fouled as he caught the ball under the basket. It was from a really difficult angle, but was still able to draw the contact and earn himself a trip to the line as Eben Oaks fouled him, and that's Oaks' second foul.
Stevens keeps going back to his nose. I'm wondering if maybe he had gotten a bloody nose from a couple of the shots he had taken earlier on in the game.
Very possible, as Stevens hits the first free throw and misses the second. That's his first point. A rebound knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Herron. We'll see Cam Bethel check back in, replacing Robert White in the Acheans lineup. 71-46. New Palestine has led this one throughout, other than an early 2-0 deficit. Oaks over to the right side to Josh Summers for Herron, up top to Matt Ray. Oliver guarding him. Ray takes a couple of dribbles, pitches it out to Cam Bethel. He takes a big drive down the lane, puts it up with the right hand, and scores his 6 points.
And the defense has loosened up a little bit here in the second half, but really, as much as anything, you look up and 48 points is essentially what Herron was doing in the first half of games recently.
Dragons working against a 2-3 zone. A nice high-low feed from Eli Stevens to Matthew Brown, who lays it up and in for his 12th point. The lead back up to 25 for the Dragons. As Herron had switched to a 2-3, the Dragons probed that very well. Here's a drive and a foul as Cam Bethel drove but was grabbed on the hip by Kyle Bastian, and that will send Bethel to the line. And actually, I think they got Blaine Nunnally on that, not Bastian. That's Nunnally's first. Scores table's on the opposite side of us, so sometimes it's difficult to read the officials' hands. Bethel to the line to shoot a pair. He has not shot a free throw tonight, but he hits his first. He's a 68% foul shooter on the year. He has 7 points. And he hits them both. Herron is now 13 of 17 from the line, and Coach Starlin Stevens wants a full timeout, so we will take one as well. 5:03 to go in the basketball game, and the Dragons lead 73-50. This is Dragon Basketball on NewPowerRadio.com, presented by All Star Turf Management.
Catch the Shot Photography is your hometown photographer. Locally owned by Brenda Adams Turk and David Turk, Catch the Shot is dedicated to providing quality photos of your family, seniors, sports, and special events. We offer custom designed products including sponsor banners, photo collages, senior banners, and much more. We look forward to catching the shots with you. Contact Catch the Shot Photography at 317-620-1240 or catchtheshot.com. With a former Dragon star in Bloomington, all eyes should be on the Hoosiers football program this year. HoosierHuddle.com is a free and independent site that has covered the football team since 2013. They provide roster analysis, player profiles, interviews, game previews, wrap-ups, and more. You can follow them on Twitter at Hoosier_Huddle or visit HoosierHuddle.com to keep up with your in-state favorites.
Now, back to the action on NewPalRadio.com.
Andrew Smith along with Mike Petrie. The New Palestine Dragons lead the Herron Acheans 73-50, and they push the ball 84 feet in 2 passes against the press. Matthew Brown drives baseline, drives the basket, draws the foul as well, and Eben Oaks commits his 4th foul. Brown with a 3-point play opportunity. And he converts as that one rattles home. And the Dragons now lead at 76-50. Brown with 15 points, 3 shy of his career high. Herron with possession as Bethel feeds for a baseline drive from Ray that won't go. And Matthew Brown collects another rebound. Blaine Nunnally will bring it up, 4:39 to go. Nunnally races across midcourt, down the lane, puts it up with the right hand and scores. Nunnally's got 8. The lead is 28.
Oh, and by the way, they can do that offensively too. When everything else is clogged up, Blaine Nunnally can just take his guy off the dribble.
Cam Bethel drives and draws a foul on Nunnally. That's Blaine's second. Damon Hockett will check in after this first free throw by Cam Bethel. And The Dragons with 4 of the 5 starters out there right now, but that number will probably begin to dwindle a little bit here as Brown and Nunnally will get breathers. Luke Burgess and Damon Hockett check in for them. So it's Burgess, Ian Stevens, Eli Stevens, Hockett, and Oliver on the floor. Bethel hit the first free throw and the second. He's now 4 of 4 from the line and has 8 points. 78-52 is New Palestine's lead. Hockett to bring it up against full court pressure, races it up the left sideline into the front court. Into the corner, he's in a double team, lost it out of bounds. Turnover will give it back to Herron.
And I think Damon a couple of times can be his own worst enemy there because he is so good at defeating those double teams that he gets himself deeper into trouble.
Evan Oakes knocks down a 3 from the left wing. That's his second 3 of the game. The Dragons' lead is 23. C.J. Oliver dumps it underneath for Luke Burgess. He'll catch, leave it off the front of the rim. Putback won't go from Burgess. And the weak side rebound pulled down by Ray. Quickly ahead to Bethel. He drives. Can't get the shot to go over Ian Stevens. Hockett comes flying in to try to get the rebound, but knocks it out of bounds. And it'll stay with Herron.
So much of Burgess, you see the development, and it's the same development we saw with Matthew Brown. Burgess needs to go to that finishing school so that, Matthew Brown has gotten so much better at that this year and even through this year.
And Burgess will get there as he's a pretty dedicated basketball player, of course, pretty good football player as well, as is Brown. But
right.
And it's just a matter, too, of just getting used to, seeing varsity competition as well. The drive inside, Burgess fouls Cam Bethel, who will go to the line.
Yeah, so much of it, because a couple of times when he's playing kind of both ends of the JV varsity doubleheader, you see it at different speeds.
Free throw is no good, but as Bethel misses the front end of the 1-and-1, but the rebound was knocked out of bounds by New Palestine, so it'll stay with Herron. 78-55, we're in the final 3:45 of this one. Ray drives in, tries to split a double team, can't get it to go. Oliver with a rebound, he'll push it himself. Feed the right side to Ian Stevens filling the lane, who catches and lays it in for his 7th point.
Some of the assists tonight have been through very tight windows.
Here's a drive block shot by Burgess as he swatted Josh Wright's shot. Damon Hockett will bring it across midcourt. He saw Cam Bethel a little bit out of position. Hockett basically drove right into him to draw the blocking foul, and this will send Hockett to the line for a pair.
Yeah, best case scenario, Hockett a chance to redeem himself from the line. He hit 2 free throws already this quarter, but
he is 3 for 5 on the game. Now 3 for 6 as he misses the front end, and because Herron is in the double bonus, that will mean Hockett gets another. Logan Strong has checked in for the first time for the Dragons. He had 24 points in the Dragons' 98-35 JV win. Jarrett Whitaker has also checked in, as has Ian Raudebush. So they're out there with Eli Stevens and Ian Stevens. Hockett made the second free throw. Here's a drive and a block shot on Matt Ray. Dragons' Ian Stevens will take it coast to coast, have his shot blocked out of bounds. It'll stay with New Palestine. And now Luke Burgess will check in to replace Eli Stevens, who gets a nice hand.
Yeah, a tough night for Eli overall, but he was showing a lot just staying back out there as long as he was.
Inbounds pass, Ian Stevens grazes the side of the rim with a three-pointer, and then a foul is going to be called on Jarrett Whitaker as he was trying to body up the full court pressure and basically forced Cam Bethel out of bounds. So official really has no choice but to call a foul on a forced out of bounds play. So Bethel to the line for a 1-and-1. He's 4 for 5 on the evening, and now 5 for 6 as he hits that first one.
It's always funny you see the different level of aggression from when the JV players come into the varsity game because, picking a guy up full court, possibly going for the ball before having to go play defense, but, not generally what you see in a 26-point game.
Bethel hits both free throws, cuts the Dragon lead to 81-57. Ian Stevens kicks it out to Ian Raudebush, top of the key. Raudebush drives, puts up a shot, won't go, gets his own rebound, puts it off glass and in. Ian Raudebush's first 2 varsity points. gives the Dragons a 26-point lead.
And he can thank Logan Strong for setting the screen on the rebound there as he came flying and walled off the Achean defender.
Logan Strong has the rebound on Matt Ray's missed three. Ian Raudebush with the basketball for the Dragons left wing. Hands off to Ian Stevens. Bounce pass to Burgess. Takes it to the left block on the drop step and lays it in for his 5th point. 85-57.
Love seeing the big man get the drop step and not have to dribble.
Here's a three out of the corner that won't go from Bethel. Ian Stevens collects another rebound. Here's a feed as Jarrett Whitaker was trying to force it inside to Logan Strong, but it was picked off. The Acheans will bring it the other way. A wild shot from Robert White won't go on a reverse layup, and the Dragons with a rebound. Logan Strong got it. Ian Stevens up to Ian Raudebush. Bounce pass to Ian Stevens, left side. Drives into the lane, puts up a runner. It won't go. Burgess fighting for the rebound. Comes to Logan Strong. He tried to get a shot off. It wouldn't go. A tip up from Burgess also wouldn't go, and the Acheans with it. We'll push it up and turn it over as Cam Bethel was not expecting the pass and fumbled it out of bounds.
Yeah, just the frustration boiling over from the Herron side. You can see how their offense can be effective, but tonight what the Dragons have done, they've essentially been able to match up the Herron's quickness with a little bit taller guys at each position.
Dragons with possession. Ian Raudebush to Ian Stevens, left side, up top to Jarrett Whitaker. He lost the handle, but picks it back up on the high right. Picks up his dribble, right wing. Has it knocked free, and it comes to Logan Strong, who's in the right place at the high right, and we'll bring it back up top to Ian Stevens. 1:10 to go in the game. Ian bounces it underneath to Luke Burgess, takes it to the right hand. Can't get it to go, but it's tipped up and in by Jarrett Whitaker.
Nice follow by Whitaker there, staying on the offensive glass.
Whitaker becomes the 11th Dragon to score. The lead is 30. Here's a three-point attempt that is a little too strong from Robert White. Ian Raudebush will push it up the other way for New Palestine. Final minute of this one, New Palestine leads 87-57. Whitaker baseline jumper goes from the right side. Jarrett Whitaker's got 4 quick points.
Yeah, it looks very smooth, the ball leaving his hand.
Robert White was left open under the basket, missed an open layup, but Luke Burgess came over and fouled him on the follow-through. And so that'll be Luke's 3rd, and we'll send White to the line.
You like the aggressiveness, but that foul came so late, it probably didn't even affect the shot.
First free throw from White is good. That's his first point.
I say that it's easier for me to say it didn't affect the shot, having a 6'8" guy come flying at me.
White misses the second free throw, so Dragons with possession. Final half minute of this one, they lead it 89-58. Dragons took control of this one with a 30-10 second quarter and have never looked back. The lead has been above 20 most of the rest of the way. Ian Stevens has it in the high circle. Dragons, I think, will be content to run out the clock. As Stevens, with 15 seconds, hands off to Ian Raudebush. Guarded by White, high left. Up top to Ian Stevens with 6 seconds showing on the clock. Jarrett Whitaker will bring it back up to Stevens, and that will do it. The New Palestine Dragons victorious over the Herron Acheans, 89-58. The Dragons' highest point total of the season, their highest point total since beating Franklin here a year ago. 89-58 is your final score. The Dragons victorious over the Herron Acheans this evening. We'll take a break. When we come back, it'll be time for the D&D Strictly Storage Best in Sight Family Eye Care post-game show, and that will commence momentarily. This is Dragon Basketball on NewPalRadio.com. Our broadcast is presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community and Dragon Athletics. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management.
Pork Vet Solutions is the best veterinary choice for your swine operation. Our two doctors, Matt Ackerman and Dylan Lape, can help you position your pork production system for the 21st century. We provide veterinary and consulting services, herd visits, preventive medicine, and more. Pork Vet Solutions is licensed and accredited in 8 states. Reach us online at porkvet.com or call 623-5132. That's porkvet.com or 623-5132. Pork Vet Solutions, literally saving your bacon each and every day.
D&D Strictly Storage in New Palestine is your home for storage needs. D&D Strictly Storage offers a wide variety of storage sizes from 5 by 10 feet up to 10 by 30 feet. They also offer indoor and outdoor parking for your boats and RVs. Locally owned and operated by Don and Maria Blackwell, D&D Strictly Storage is who to call for your storage solution. They're located on County Road 400 West, just north of the railroad tracks in New Palestine. Call them at 861-9231. Again, that's 861-9231 for D&D Strictly Storage. Mention this ad and get your second month free with any rental.
Best in Sight Eye Care has been the leader of quality vision and eyewear in New Palestine for more than 20 years. Our experienced doctors, Tim Huffman, Mark Habig, and Colin Clairbout, use the most advanced state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. At Best in Sight Eye Care, you will find professionals who are dedicated to providing exceptional personal service to everyone who walks through the door. We are conveniently located on Arbor Lane in New Palestine. Just follow US 52 west of Mount Comfort Road. To schedule your appointment, visit bestinsighteyecare.com or call 861-4100. Give your vision the level of care it deserves. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase.
You're listening to The Dragons on NewPalRadio.com.
Final score from the Dragons Den. New Palestine knocks off Herron 89-58 tonight. Along with Mike Petrie, I'm Andrew Smith. And the Dragons really, after a back-and-forth first quarter, seized control of the game early in the second, outscored the Acheans 30-10 in the second quarter, and that ended up being the difference. They led at 49-25 at halftime and never looked back from there. And Coach Trent Whitaker is ready to join us on the D&D Strictly Storage Best in Sight Family Eye Care postgame show. And Coach, congratulations on the win and a really solid performance. Especially, looks like you felt each other out in the first quarter, made some defensive adjustments, and then really seized control of the game quickly.
Yeah, the biggest thing tonight was, we talked about just playing together and just having confidence when we're on the floor. We got a couple kids that were struggling a little bit. It was nice to see Kyle Bastian, hit a couple shots tonight. He's been struggling a little bit for us, but he definitely did a nice job getting going a little bit. He was a little more assertive, and that's one thing he needs to do. So as far as defensive adjustments, we stayed in our man-to-man for the most part, but kept the basketball in front of us and made them hit some tough shots.
You mentioned Kyle Bastian. He and Eli Stevens had a tough defensive assignment tonight on Ty Brown. You come in off the bench, and Kyle did a really nice job limiting Brown and not really allowing him to get very much tonight, and you held him to basically half his average.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what he ended up with, but, Eli got the start on him, and unfortunately Eli got in some foul trouble early. But Kyle came in and we didn't lose anything there, and he did a nice job on him. And then I think we did a pretty good job overall of just rebounding one shot and one out for the most part.
When you play a team like this that really wants to, number one, push the tempo, but number two, want to spread the floor, how important is it just to move your feet and keep them in front of you?
The biggest thing, keep the basketball in front, because as soon as they get by you, you got to help, and then that's when they can knock down threes or kick out or drop down for layups. And like I said, I think all of our guards did a nice job pretty much, and Luke and Matthew did a nice job kind of cleaning things up behind.
Tonight, tempo, obviously, they want to play at a frenetic pace. Describe the way you were able to push the tempo and really play at that fast pace, but do so under control.
The biggest thing with their pace is they have to get buckets to get in their press, and we did a nice job early of eliminating that. And then actually when they got into it, we were able to break it pretty easily. Blaine and Steele are just confident with the basketball. But as far as playing that pace, we're okay running up and down a little bit. Mm-hmm. We don't mind that. Kids enjoy it, and it was good to see tonight. Obviously, last night we saw Warren Central, who wanted to get up and down and had a little better athletes than Herron, but they kind of play the same style.
This week, late January, we always talk about preparing for March. There's a chance you'll play 3 games and 4 nights in March. So
right.
Is tonight and this week a really good preview for that?
You know, we lost our tournament in December, so we were trying to pick up some games, and we picked up Warren Central. Just kind of hoping in March we get to see a team like that, so kind of get a preview of that possibly. But then Coach Cooper had Herron on the hook here tonight and asked, hey, 3 games, and that's what we talked about. We said you got to prepare for it, and not many times you get to play 3 games in a week, but we do have a lot of back-to-back weekends, which I think helps us down the stretch as well. So we definitely talked about sectional week this week, and you know, you got to get to Saturday on sectional night.
Yeah, and now 48 hours from now you play a big conference game against Yorktown, and you're in the thick of the conference race again, so obviously a big game.
Yorktown's right there with us. They're a pretty good basketball team this year. They've improved quite a bit, and we cannot take them lightly.
Well, we'll look forward to that. Congratulations on the victory. Head coach Trent Whitaker joining us on the postgame show tonight as the Dragons defeat the Herron Acheans by a count of 89-58. And Mike, we'll kind of just chat a little bit, and then we'll give you the final scoring numbers. But I think a lot of what Coach Whitaker mentioned, you know, obviously 3 games and 4 nights is a good thing to prepare for, but just really liked the defensive effort for this team, holding a team that's been scoring 90-plus points a game, including against some good teams like Hamilton Heights, to 58, and really getting them out of rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, you could kind of see that Herron was frustrated by the fact that they were looking at a lot of the possessions like, hey, this has been working until tonight. And it didn't work because when you've got and it's the size that New Pal's able to bring in defensively when you've got guys like Hackett and Bastion that can actually guard the opposing point guard and stay with them, and you're not losing any quickness from that, or really with Eli or Ian Stevens either. You know, when you don't lose anything from a quickness standpoint and you have guys that can play man-on-man that way, it really just puts you at such an advantage because physically you know that it's going to be a tough shot and a tough shot over a taller player.
And that certainly was the case. And I think the other thing, one and done. There weren't a whole lot of second and third chance opportunities for Herron as well. And when they could set up their press, the Dragons usually were able to thread the needle through it and get some easy baskets on the other end.
Yeah, I kind of cringe at that to a certain degree. There's the degree of, you know, there's the certain players where if they hit their first 3, it's going to be a long night because they think everything's going in. And my only concern was there were a couple of things that worked tonight that I don't want them to get confidence that it'll work in future games. But tonight it worked, so, you know. They can make me shut up whenever they want.
So let's go over the final scoring number. Steel Brassfield finished the night with 23 points. 20 of those came in the first half, including 11 in that 30-point second quarter. Matthew Brown with 15. That was 3 shy of his career high. That was a season high for him. He had 11 of those in the second half. Kyle Bastion with 10 points. That's 1 shy of his season and career high. He had a pair of 3s in the first half. C.J. Oliver with 8 first-half points tonight. Ian Stevens with 7 off the bench, and that's 2 shy of his career high. Damon Hackett finished the night with 6 points, also 2 shy of his career high. Luke Burgess with 5. And also tonight, Jarrett Whitaker had 4 points. Ian Raudebush, the first 2 of his varsity career, and Eli Stevens finished with a point. Logan Strong played but did not score. So 12 play, 11 score for the Dragons. Had really good balance tonight. They had 32 field goals, 6 of which were 3s. They were 19 of 25 from the line. It's a season high in points and also a season high in the most field goals they have hit. Herron had 3 in double figures, led by Ty Brown. He had 13 points, but only 4 of those came after the first quarter, as he had 9 early ones and then was held pretty quiet after that. Cam Bethel finished the night with 12. Matt Ray with 10. Eben Oakes with 8, including a pair of 3s. Josh Wright scored 5 points. Josh Summers, 10 Tindo Mabuke and Malik Africa with 3 each, Robert White with 1. Marlon Anderson also played but did not score. So 10 Acheans played, 9 scored. They hit 17 field goals, 6 of which were threes. They were 18 of 24 from the line. The Dragons led at 19 to 15 after a quarter. A 30 to 10 second quarter opened up a 49-25 halftime lead. New Palestine outscored Herron 16 to 15 in the third to lead 65-40 after 3, and then 24 to 18 in the fourth. The final score 89 to 58. We'll do this again in 48 hours, but that's a big one for this New Palestine team, as they're right in the mix in the conference right now. Mount Vernon's 4-0 in the conference after a big win over Shelbyville last night. Delta's 3-0, and of course New Palestine has already played the Eagles. The Dragons are sitting right there at 3-1. Everybody else has 2 or more losses. Shelbyville's 1-2. Greenfield Central is 2-3. Yorktown is 1-3 in conference play, but they're playing really, really well right now. And then Newcastle and Pendleton Heights also with 3 losses. So basically, it's a 3-team race for the conference, and New Palestine wants to remain in that mix as the Dragons want to defend their conference title. And Friday night is a big one against a Yorktown team that's playing really, really well right now. They won the Delaware County tournament a couple of weeks ago and have continued to play some good basketball.
Had to beat Delta in that Delaware County tournament. So, of course, that didn't count for the conference standings. But, yeah, I can't imagine the conference champion's going to have more than 1 loss at the end of the year. So you've got to keep up with everybody. I tell you what, one thing I saw with the scoring, and it really impressed me, they score 40 points in the second half, and Steele, who was dominating and could get every point he wanted in the first half, they didn't have to go through him to get any of it. Barely in the second half. He hits a 3, and outside of that, the rest of the offense comes from the other guys. So in addition to everything else they did, I thought that a very balanced effort. It seemed like every other guy had a career or season high or a couple of points off.
And I think that's going to be key going forward. And the one thing about this team we've talked about all year is developing depth. And you see that Trent Whitaker's got 8-9 guys he can count on right now. And again, Kyle Bastian has played his best game in quite a while. C.J. Oliver continues to be really solid in the starting lineup. Ian Stevens continues to impress, and he'll always score a few points for you, but it's his defense. He seems to get a couple of block shots and is always at the right place at the right time defensively and on the glass.
Yeah, so many of the guys that they play so hard defensively and play really smart. They're really doing a great job of being in that right spot. They get a lot of the garbage block shots, steals, kind of just a hand is not where the offensive player expects it to be, and get a lot of deflections that way.
Yeah, and they make a lot of plays happen because of that, and as a result, it led to a 31-point victory tonight, 89-58 for the Dragons over the Herron Acheans. Mike, we'll do this again Friday night.
That sounds good.
The Dragons' next game Friday night against the Yorktown Tigers. Mike and I will have the broadcast for you 7:25 p.m. right here from the Dragons' Den. We will have that on both the New Palestine High School Athletics YouTube channel and on newpalradio.com. That will also be the case for our next broadcast, which comes tomorrow night. The girls' basketball regular season finale as the Dragons take on the Ritter Raiders. That's a 6:25 airtime, 6:30 tip-off tomorrow night, the Dragons against Ritter. Want to thank you for joining us this evening. For Mike Petrie, I'm Andrew Smith saying good night, so long, everybody. Final score again from New Palestine, the Dragons 89 and the Herron Acheans 58. This has been a presentation of the Crosscom Sports Network and newpalradio.com with